We are diving straight into a match today that literally had it all. I mean, we're talking sky-high stakes, absolute tactical masterclasses, and tension you could basically cut with a knife. We're breaking down this massive round of 16 clash between France Les Bleus and Paraguay, a squad that has very quickly and rightly earned the nickname the Red Wall. This was a win-or-go-home thriller under the lights at the Philadelphia Stadium, and trust me, it totally lived up to the hype. So let's just get right into how this whole drama unfolded on the pitch.
Okay, picture this. You're right in the heat of the action. The referee blows the whistle for halftime, the players are trudging down the tunnel, and you look up at the scoreboard in Philly. 0-0. A completely frustrating, scoreless stalemate for the tournament favorites. You know, you could practically feel the anxiety in the stadium air. It was that classic ultimate footballing paradox, right? An unstoppable attacking force just slamming headfirst into an immovable object. France was throwing absolutely everything they had at them, but that scoreboard, it just refused to budge. So why exactly was that happening? Let's take a closer look.
Act 1. The Unbreakable Fortress.
Okay, let's dive into this. To understand the sheer gravity of this match, you really have to look at how Paraguay set up. Coming off that totally stunning win over Germany in the last round, Paraguay didn't come to Philly to play open, expansive football against a technically superior team. No way. They came with a deeply, deeply disciplined blueprint. Look at the tactical friction here. On one side, France is unleashing these relentless waves of pressure. You've got Ousmane Dembélé and Michael Olise working the wings, desperately trying to stretch the field. But they were just met by Paraguay's ultra-compact low block. And honestly, this wasn't just defending. It was an absolute masterclass in suffocating the half spaces and completely neutralizing France's pace. Every single time France sent in a cross or tried to slip in a clever diagonal ball, it just found a Paraguayan head or a heavy boot. It perfectly showed the absolute limits of a possession-heavy attack when it goes up against a flawlessly organized deep defense.
I mean, just look at this number. 80%? That is, honestly, it's a staggering statistic. This represents France's share of possession, literally crossing that unbelievable 80% mark during the match. Imagine holding the ball for that long, totally dictating the tempo, basically living in the opponent's half of the pitch, and still having absolutely zero to show for it on the scoreboard. It really visualizes how much control Les Bleus actually had, but at the same time, it underscores the sheer brilliance of Paraguay's defensive wall. You hear it all the time, but possession doesn't equal penetration. And man, this number proves it.
And the frustration just kept compounding. 10. That is the number of corner kicks France earned before the match even hit the hour mark. 10 different opportunities to send the ball into the mixer from the corner flag. And yet, the tournament favorites remained firmly locked out. That South American defense was completely, totally unbothered by the aerial bombardment. I mean, you can only imagine the psychological toll that takes on an attacking team, right? You're doing everything right, you're earning the set pieces, you're dominating the ball, but you're just hitting a brick wall every single time.
Act 2. The Tipping Point.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is seeing how quickly things can turn, because football is a game of tiny margins. Defending against world-class technical talent for 60 straight minutes, that takes a massive physical toll. And watch how fast this match cascades into chaos. Early in the second half, the physical strain finally shows up. Paraguay's star forward, Julio Enciso, limps off with a muscular issue, which totally forces a defensive reshuffle. Sensing the moment, French manager Didier Deschamps looks at his deep bench and makes a really crucial tactical gamble. He brings on the explosive Désiré Doué. His specific job? Disrupt that rigid defensive line with direct, blistering pace. And wow, does it pay immediate dividends? Right in the 67th minute, Doue goes on this dazzling, slicing run down the left channel, cuts inside the box, and Diego Gomez makes a desperate challenge and brings him down. There's a momentary, agonizing VAR check, and then boom, the referee points decisively to the penalty spot.
The pressure in that stadium was just immense. You've got the weight of an entire nation resting on a single kick from 12 yards out. Up steps Kylian Mbappé, and honestly, he was completely unfazed. The whole stadium holds its collective breath. He makes his run up and just coolly, calmly slides the ball perfectly into the corner, sending Paraguay's keeper Orlando Gill the completely wrong way. After all that possession, all those corners, all that mounting frustration, the deadlock was finally broken. 1-0 to France.
Act 3. The Final Stand.
Now, you might naturally think that goal would just deflate an exhausted team. But down by a goal, with their tournament lives hanging by a thread, Paraguay refused to just fade out. No way. They weren't going down without a fight, and they set up this breathless, absolutely desperate finale. Those final 10 minutes plus stoppage time basically transformed the pitch into a chaotic battleground. Paraguay completely abandons the low block and starts committing massive numbers forward. They're frantically searching for these long, looping throw-ins just to cause some havoc in the penalty area. They start exploiting rare split-second lapses in that French defensive line. The tension absolutely peaked when Mauricio found himself with a highly dangerous chance that he very nearly converted. Suddenly, France was the one on their heels, clinging to this super narrow lead as the red wall morphed into a red tidal wave.
And this brilliantly illustrates just how much heart was on display right up to the bitter end. With Paraguay throwing everybody forward, France spots an opening to ice the game on a rapid counterattack. Doue, involved once again, unselfishly slips this beautiful pass to Mbappé inside the area. Mbappé unloads a blistering 20-yard effort and then even pounces on a sharp rebound. But Paraguay's keeper Orlando Gill pulls off this magnificent, truly breathtaking double save. It was downright heroic. It kept the deficit at just one single goal, keeping Paraguay's faint hopes alive for those agonizing final seconds.
Ultimately, despite that incredibly intense late South American pressure, the French defensive line stood remarkably firm until the referee blew the final whistle. They punched the ticket to the next round with a really hard-fought 1-0 victory. They survived the red wall, but it leaves us with a massive question moving forward, one that highlights a broader theme in modern football. Having weathered such a taxing, grueling defensive test just to secure this one win, does France actually have the grit and the creative solutions needed to go all the way in the quarterfinals? I mean, they proved they can survive a battle of attrition against deeply organized defenses, but for sure, the road only gets harder from here. What do you think? Thank you so much for